which is leading you, because it's kind of like leading you to this door to value, which is showing you money, like prosperity, pentacles and dollars coming out of that. It's like, whoa, hello, riches are coming, like you're gonna hit the jackpot in some form, right? But the door to value is being opened for you to tap into by having these actions that happen, and that's bringing the world to you. Upswing in energy, exhilarating movement, right? And so that tells like a story. You read the card.
Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we'll be talking about 10 signs you have a spiritual gift, how to know that you have a spiritual gift and what it means. Well, the thing is, everyone is specifically talented for something. Each person has unique abilities and strengths that make them stand out from others. There are people who are more creative, right? Some are more athletic, some are more intellectual, others are more social, we know that. There are people who are more technical, right? Who are good with technology and you give them a computer and they can fix everything. And then there are those who are spiritually gifted. And today we will be talking about those kind of people. So let me know in the comment section if any of that resonates with you. There's a verse from the New Testament of the Bible, 1 Peter 4 verse 10, which says, "Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others, as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms." And that is beautiful. Which means and says that we are all gifted in something, and our mission is to share our gifts, to share our talents with others. But we can't truly share them if we don't become more aware of them, right? Self-awareness is the missing key for most people to recognize what makes them special, right? What makes them different, what makes them stand out from others. And the thing is, we're living in a society where being different is being weird, so most people are afraid of expressing their true authentic selves because we've been so suppressed. Like, if you're not like everybody else, you should rather become like everybody else, right? So there's many sensitive people out there, many empathic people, many intuitive people, many spiritual people who kind of feel pushed away because the world is so poisoned, right? Society is so poisoned with different concepts, different ideas, different beliefs. And those spiritually gifted people, they know that there's something wrong, but at the same time, they don't know sometimes how to share their own light to enlighten this society. So you need to discover that special gift that you have. So what are the 10 signs that you are spiritually gifted? The first one is strong intuition. One of the most common signs of having a spiritual gift is strong intuition. You may have a heightened sense of awareness and a deep understanding of people and situations. The third sign that you have a spiritual gift is clairvoyance. What's that? Clairvoyance is the ability to see beyond what is visible to the naked eye. So most people may see the world just how it was presented to them, but you see beyond this matrix, right? You see, oh, most of those things that people are appreciating, those are just illusions. You see, most people are kind of praising money, and you know that it's all about value. Money is fake, but value is real, right? And if you have a spiritual gift, you may experience visions, see auras, or have prophetic dreams. That's clairvoyance. You can see things that most people don't see. You see the value of things. You see the truth within certain experiences and events. Sometimes something bad may happen on the world, but you see the truth of why it needed to happen. Sometimes somebody comes to you and you see the aura of that person. Maybe as a little kid that ability of clairvoyance was even more evolved, and often we hear stories about kids who see souls, who see spirits, who see their spirit guides, and so on. And many people had that ability as little kids and then they suppressed it because they've noticed that most people don't have that. So if they're talking about it, they become weirdos in society, and that's something we don't want to be, so we suppress those abilities. But as many people in the world are waking up and looking into this kind of topics, and many people are getting into this kind of conversations, I've noticed in my life, like, people don't want to talk about it until you start a conversation about it, and suddenly so many people say, well, I was studying these things for a long time, but I have no one to talk about it, so I rather don't talk about it with anyone, right? But then we open a conversation and suddenly people are really passionate about it. So many people say, yeah, that's what's happening to me. So when we open up our hearts, we also attract to ourselves people who are open for that, people who are experiencing the similar things as well, and that's the power of community. So if you feel like you have a sense of clairvoyance, you can see energies, you can read auras, you may have prophetic dreams. Sometimes you may be dreaming about the things that later happen. Those are prophetic dreams, and those dreams doesn't mean that sometimes people are having some negative prophetic dreams, like some nightmares, and they get afraid of this is what will happen. Those are the potential outcomes. We need to understand how timelines work. When we see a certain glimpse of a certain event on a certain timeline, it's a reminder, hey, if you will not change anything, that's a potential reality that may happen. So those are all like wake-up calls to change something. That's why we need to gain a control and understanding of our own clairvoyance. When something like this happens, we need to understand, okay, this is just a wake-up call, I need to change something. Because sometimes people are dreaming about getting sick or separating of certain relationships or things like that. Those are wake-up calls. Hey, if you will not do anything about it, this may happen. So be aware around this. The seventh sign you have a spiritual gift is that synchronicities are often happening to you. Synchronicity is the occurrence of meaningful, what we call coincidences that seem to be more than a mere chance. You see, synchronicities often happen when we change the way we think. Sometimes we start thinking about a certain person and then that person calls us. Sometimes we start thinking that we need to make certain changes in our lives, and we come across a book that is talking about that certain specific thing, like you need to do something about your health, and you come across a book that's talking about nutrition, about neuroscience, what kind of food you need, about mental health, about changing habits, and so on. So those are synchronicities, and they're happening all the time. Sometimes you hear a song and you experience a message in it. If those things are constantly happening to you, it means that you have a spiritual gift. And you can use your intuition for reading messages of synchronicities. Journaling will help you to decode what that synchronicity may represent to you, and then always take action. Synchronicities are like glimpses of inspiration from the universe to keep up with your work. It's not like waiting that something will happen, and when you see synchronicities you should keep waiting. It's not like that. Those are like glimpses of inspiration, of motivation from the universe. Keep up doing your work. Keep demystifying the messages and then do whatever you feel that you need to do. So synchronicities are important messages. So my friends, this is it for today. 10 signs you have a spiritual gift. I hope you found something valuable here today, and I'm sending you all lots of love, blessings, and power. If you're wondering what to do with all of that, well, again, ask your intuition. It means that you're a healer. Like I said at the beginning, each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its virtuous forms. So, if you don't ignore them, you will ignite the power of them. And if you're able to control them, you will become the master of them. And that's where you will start to create wonders on this planet of Earth. So my friends, once again, have a beautiful day. I hope you've enjoyed in today's artwork. Thanks to all of you for supporting my art in my Etsy shop. I draw my passion. You're all truly appreciated. I love you all. Till next time, one love.
What is a clairvoyant? It literally is, well, it's a breakdown of a French word, which actually doesn't exist in French. Clairvoyant, to see clearly. To see and observe and hear and smell and see and sense things beyond the physical that are not part of one's regular way of being. To be clairvoyant, as indeed I am, is to have the ability to see, as I said, things, be it internally or externally, that one has not knowledge of in the regular material world.
Hi, I'm BryN SoledaD, and I'm an intuitive oracle card reader as well as an Usui Reiki practitioner, and I have other healing methodologies. I'm here today to read cards for willpower, to talk about past, present, and future, and what he might need to look out for, and the things that he can do to kind of maneuver in his path this week. So I've picked some cards, some soul path cards, sacred path cards, also the psychic tarot cards, moonology, and life purpose cards. So I'll start with these in a reading, and then I may pull some other cards as clarification or for some additional messages later. So first I'm going to start with the Soul Path card, and then I will pull a combination of 9 to 12 cards, whatever comes out from the rest. And so, Will, are you ready for your reading?
Yes, ma'am. And just to give a little background, back in August, BryN had done this for me, and I documented everything in our YouTube vlog, and a lot of the things came true. So I look forward to always my reading. She reached out yesterday, and I was having some signs, and then she reached out, and I was like, yes, I need it, whatever. And then there was more signs after, so I'm curious to see what's going on. Something I want you to touch base really quick, just to get a little clarification. There's a term that's new to me that you brought to my attention, which was the manifestation, like the power. What did you say? You're an amplifier manifestation. There was a word that you said, and I explained to you like things that I manifest, I get, and you're like, oh, you're something manifest.
Oh yeah, you are like a super manifester, but very powerful manifester. I can't remember the word that I used, but that's the whole basic. I'll think of it in a minute, and we'll bring it back when it comes.
Yeah.
You can catch me on Instagram at AscendingSol. All right, so I'm going to start with these cards right now because I want to get a couple of deeper messages to start with, and then we're going to go into some other kinds of readings here. So, okay. And all right, so there are two cards here. One is, where am I called to use my voice now? And the other one is, where can I create more space? So we'll talk about this one first, since it was on top. Where am I called to use my voice right now? I'm going to read it, but if you think about it,
like you're using your voice a lot, but where are you being called to take this a bit further? Use your voice in any aspect of life, whether it be, helping BryN with her business, whether it might be speaking out about a truth that's really important to you, or even using your voice in your own personal or business life, right? So you have a soul script that was written to be spoken. That's deep right there. Your story matters, and it's time for you to share it with the world.
Wow, that's crazy, because that's what's been going on with the vlog. And I just posted about this, that I'm, for lack of a better word, special, and this whole MatriX and everything, and this whole thing with Ethan is like an awakening, and it's so different. Like, I see things different now, because it brought it up to light. Like, I always, like, for lack of a better word, felt that I was special because of the way that I interacted and how I viewed things different than everybody. And I was like, this doesn't, and I did things my way. It's very weird. And I never really put things two and two together. I just knew that, okay, life is like a puzzle, and I was putting things together, and everything happened for a reason, and this is because of this, and I analyzed things that way, and I read signs from the universe, and then I got the vision board, and then everything, and the manifestation, everything just started like snowballing, all crazy. And then Ethan came in, and with this whole mentoring thing, and I started researching, and then the awakening, like I started realizing all these things. Teaching him I started realizing things and putting all these things together, and just, it's been very not freaky in a good way, but it's been very like a roller coaster right now of, I don't know if it's emotions or what. I feel I have this energy, this power, and I keep on exploiting it, and the more I exploit it, the more powerful I feel I'm getting, and the more that I'm seeing, the more clear. That's why I'm doing this right now. And it's like I said, these last 8 months has been like a roller coaster, and like, I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm just enjoying the ride and receiving the information that I'm seeing, and I don't know, the energy.
You are going through, when I'm listening to you, two things came to me, and number one is you're going through a really intense awakening.
Hyper manifestation or something like that. That's what it was. Hyper
manifestation.
That's what it was. You said. I know it was like a term with manifestation. I think it was hyper manifestation or manifestator or something like that. All right, sorry.
But you are going through an awakening, meaning a soul slash spiritual awakening. So you're getting a lot of downloads, which is why, and you're getting those downloads coming in through your crown chakra, from your higher self, as well as from the spiritual world, divine, whatever you want to say. But you're getting messages from the universe, and to help you along with this journey, because you have an intense soul path. You have a soul script that was written to be spoken, right? So in other words, you have this big soul mission in this lifetime that you're meant. That's why you're different. But when you were talking about being kind of, different, is what came to me is that you're a starseed. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before.
And for clarification, I don't mean special like, ooh, I'm special. I mean like special like, I don't know, I see things, I act differently, I pick up on different energy, I read people different. That's another thing too. I didn't know I had such a great skill at reading people. Now it's like
I've seen that.
crazy. I didn't even know that, like somewhat, but now teaching Ethan how to read people, this and that, like it's just, like I'm telling you, this is awakening, like everything, all these things that I thought I had, whatever, like I'm seeing them now and I'm picking up on it and I'm like exploiting. It's like Superman just figured out he had superpowers and he's learning how to fly and all that. And it's crazy, like with Ethan, I was telling D upstairs in the by the pool area, when Ethan the other day we were talking, whatever, and he was doing something, whatever, and I totally told like what he was gonna do, and I was like, hey, pay attention, I need you to pay attention, whatever, I don't care if you want to do your laundry. And he's like, what are you doing? How do you know I wanted to do your laundry? I was like, I can totally tell the body language just told me the way he looked at me, the way he acted when I told him like that. And the laundry was right behind me, we were in the kitchen by the island. And then I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, what, how do you do that? You knew before I even thought that I wanted to do the laundry. I was like, I don't know, your body language just told me. And we were like both kind of like freaking out. I was in the kitchen. So little incidents like that have happened, and if I tell you, like, it's crazy. That's why I don't like saying so much, because it sounds really crazy when I tell, but I'm experiencing it. And the benefit
I don't think that's crazy
well,
at all.
because I guess you see it. But another thing too, where keeps me kind of sane is that Ethan is there and he's seeing it with me. Like I talk about it and he sees the manifestation, how it works and shit happening, and then what I'm saying. So it's like it's more fuel to this snowballed to this fire. I mean, it's really crazy what's going on.
Yeah. So not only are you reading people's energy, but you're also getting, it's telepathy. Have you ever heard of telepathy? So it's where you maybe are tapping into people's thoughts, their actual thoughts. But everybody can intuit that differently. You may see it, you may feel it, you
Maybe
may
that,
hear it.
I can't say that I feel like somebody's, like I just read him, like I knew like his body language before, he reacted or thought of, I don't know, I just saw him and I don't know why that just came out. I was like, hey, pay attention, I don't care if you want to do your laundry, this and that. And he was like, what? How do you not want to do my laundry? You like said it before I even thought about it. And I was like, I don't know, I just saw you in the way that when you turn around and the way you acted, I don't know, and his look, I don't know, it was just so weird. So it's not like I didn't feel like he was saying, he's like, oh, I gotta do my laundry or whatever. It was just like, so I don't
But there
feel
is
like
something
that.
called clear knowing, meaning that you just have an instant knowing of something that maybe you wouldn't normally, like people wouldn't think you would just have a knowing about, and you can't understand where that came from. But it's a divine, it's kind of, telepathy can also show up as clear knowing, meaning that you're reading somebody's mind. You may not know that you're doing that, but somehow you're connecting with their thoughts, right? And you may also be able to get your thoughts across to others by just thinking them. If you're kind of you know what I mean by thinking loud? If you're thinking loud or you have the intention that you kind of wish somebody knew something, they may pick that up from you. And that's...
What do you mean, like an example?
So the first time that I realized that I had telepathy was in 2nd grade, when I was in the elementary school, and I was walking to the office, and there was a little girl about 10 feet in front of me, and I really didn't know her very well, but I started kind of hearing a conversation in my head. I was like, I don't know what that is. But then I also started getting pictures as if it was kind of like a running movie, as if I was there in that situation and I could see what was happening. And there was something happening that was pretty sad in her family, and she was really worried about it. And I just thought that was weird. I didn't know what that was, but then later on, I heard that exact thing was going on in her family, and that those things that I heard and saw had actually happened to her. And that's when I realized I was really hearing her thoughts and tapping into what she was remembering or thinking about at the moment when she was really sad.
You had your aha moment. That's exactly what I'm having. Awakening, I'm not having a bunch of these aha moments, and I'm realizing all these, and then...
And when I was young, I also thought it was people's body languages that I was tapping into, because I do read body language pretty well as well. But we would go to the mall. I know this is a terrible thing. As teenagers, you go to the mall and you hang out, and I would like to watch people, and I would make up stories about people. I would say, oh, that person, I don't know, like was riding his bike and fell over, and some guy just, I don't know, whatever. And I thought that I was just making stories up about people. Then I would find out that those things about their personality or things that had happened to them in life were actually true. So again, so it's picking up people's energies and their thoughts. And when you're a starseed, which is what I think you could be, which is why you've always considered yourself to be different. Maybe you think Earth is different. Like, why am I even here? Like, this place is a little different. I'm maybe not like everybody else, right? Not putting yourself above them, just, I'm not the average kind of person, right? And it's because our soul can originate from another star system, and we're bringing knowledge from that star system, which is more advanced, to Earth. And when we bring that star knowledge from that star system here, we have a soul mission. Our soul chose to come to Earth, which is a lower density, much tougher
like heaven and earth kind of view.
It's a much more difficult life path. Souls do choose to come here, but you may have chosen to come here, especially at this particular time when a lot of change is going on Earth, and to affect change and to get messages across. And it may be individual people's lives, or it may be a big collective of people. And because you're getting out on YouTube and everything else, you have the potential to impact a lot of people and maybe change people's perspectives and help them tap into some other things as well. You're here as a teacher.
Interesting. Well, yeah, it's like the post that I had posted yesterday about the purpose and teaching, and that's with the whole thing with Ethan and his friends. So I could see that. I don't feel like like other dimension, or that I'm like from another place or anything of that.
But your soul could have originated and lived a couple lives or multiple lives, because our souls are infinite.
I know that I have some kind of like weird purpose, like what I've said. I've done a lot of crazy stuff, and I don't know why I'm here. So there's some purpose, and I'm trying to figure it out. I'm getting closer.
And you just need to roll with it.
Yeah, exactly. And now, like, that's what I'm saying. Everything happens for a reason. It's the awakening thing, and I'm realizing thing, and I'm trying to figure it out and see the purpose, so I can go that way. I don't know.
Well, but go look up Arcturians. Arcturus. Arcturians.
What is it?
It's a star system.
Oh, okay.
So you can do that on YouTube. Anyway, I don't know. That was just coming through, so I thought I'd say it. So I think you're getting your soul is speaking to you. You're getting downloads from divine and your higher self, from the Akashic records, which is the collective records of everything that ever has been, will be, is now. There's really no timeline, only here on Earth. Anyway, so
the one with this one was the space.
This one is where can I, where am I called to use my voice right now?
Correct, and finding your purpose.
Share your story.
Which is the vlog.
Right? Be brave, speak your truth. And this card is, where can I create more space?
Yeah, that's the one that I was going to say. I didn't get that.
So, creating space. Instead of filling yourself up with busy work and things to do, create more sacred space in your schedule, in your home, your mind, your lungs, and in your heart. Take time to just be. Create the quiet space, right? Clear the clutter from your mind, your home, whatever, so that because so many things are coming to you so quickly right now, you need to spend some time in quiet, like meditation, or what maybe you need more meditation time, or just really quiet time, quieting your mind.
I already know exactly what that card is all about. It's the situation I'm going right now. It fucks with my peace.
I'm gonna say this. It's one thing, but it's not everything that this card means for you.
Oh, okay.
Okay? This card is saying, clear out all of the mental and physical clutter. Get down to the most important things and take time to listen to all the new things that are coming in, and to really...
But I don't have any clutter on me. I can relate to the... Like, I'm listening to that, yeah, but like mental clutter, I don't feel I have like nothing.
If your thoughts are...
Because if I have any mental clutter, it's all just like a overload of information of everything that's going on.
That's what
trying to program it, but all positive, like everything. I'm just trying to do too many things at once because I'm getting all this to do. But I don't see it as a clutter or a distraction. Like I'm trying to focus on this, and then something is whatever.
It doesn't mean negative stuff, right? It just means take some quiet time to process all those thoughts that are coming through your head, and all the things that are happening, and to reflect upon that, right? Or to absorb it, right? Just create a little more space and make sure you are... I think you use your time really wisely, Will. So I'm not. That's not what I want to say.
Yeah, I see that.
To make sure that as you're processing all this, that you're focusing in the right direction for where you're being called next. That's the message that I'm getting. Okay. All right. So those are interesting. All right. So let's try a couple of sacred path cards. These are Native American sacred path cards. I'm just gonna shuffle one more time. And one more time. The talking stick. Viewpoints, options. I know what I was saying with this. Viewpoints and options.
Meaning?
Okay.
Oh,
I'm gonna get
talking
into
stick
it.
like. Oh, okay.
The talking stick is a stick that shamans use that it
When you have any talk, like
and they use it to gather messages and to determine which option is the best option. Okay, counting coup, victory. So this goes in order. Okay. Drum, rhythm, internal timing, and fertility. So fertility doesn't necessarily mean, like having babies kind of fertility, but fertility could also be money. It could be fertility, like fertility meaning manifestations are coming in, right? It's fertile. It's like you're growing a good crop, right? You planted the seeds, now the seeds are growing, you planted a good crop, right?
Yep.
So, so let's take a look at just the message. So, right, if you look at it in order, viewpoints and options, victory,
rhythm, internal timing, and fertility.
So we're gonna think about that a little bit. Right. So the talking stick, like I said, is used in Native American culture when a council is called to determine the options and determine the best course of action based upon the discussions and the decisions they're making. Yeah. So, I'm not going to read all this because it's a lot, but I think that's the major point of that.
Just that, I already know exactly what's going on right now.
And then, okay, that's counting coup. C-O-U. Victory. The teaching. The act of counting coup signifies a victory over an enemy or an accepted challenge.
Okay, accept the challenge. I don't know if I got enemies. I don't care. Accept the challenge. Yes, I believe that.
Yeah.
Something I was talking about was, I post a lot on my Instagram, like may seem to others talking shit, but I don't talk shit. I put it out there. Something when I decide that I want to accomplish something, I'll go and talk. Like I said, I'm gonna work out and 6-pack, whatever, blah blah. Some people might say, but I'm actually doing it because me putting it out there holds myself accountable.
Yeah.
So I don't talk shit. I don't consider myself a liar. So if I said it, I gotta go and do it.
You gotta back it up.
So exactly. So if I post something, if you know me and you see my patterns already, the proof is in the pudding. I'm gonna do it. It's like me and Ethan, we got a couple of plans and we were talking about this, and I was like, you notice I haven't talked about that shit because I haven't figured it out. Once I figure it out, I'm gonna post it because I already feel it's gonna happen, but I haven't right now because it hasn't come to me. And he's like, oh, what we gotta do? It's gonna come. Exactly. That's the beauty about this whole manifestation thing. It's the patience, because a lot of people say, you manifest your soul special power, manifest $1 million. I am. It's just not gonna appear right here.
Exactly.
Give me 3 years.
It doesn't come in the moment. It comes in divine timing.
Exactly.
And there is a certain flow that has to happen, and that flow can take time. So we're manifesting now what's coming in the future.
You're planting the seed.
It could manifest quickly.
Yeah,
but it doesn't.
But you don't have control.
Manifester. Anyway. Right.
You don't have control over that. You can't. I don't put that when I manifest something. I don't put a time frame on it because then it just throws you off because that's like a wish.
Because everything has to fall fall into
Exactly.
place for
The
that
universe
thing
is
to
the one
happen.
that's gonna tell me. I know I want it. I know it, and then I see it. I feel it.
Right.
I know I'm already
It's
there.
coming.
It's coming. I just don't give it a time. I don't see me there, young, you, whatever, this and that.
We
And like
can't give it
a
a
perfect example is our reading was in August. That was what, less than a year. What, 6, 7 months, 8 months ago, and now it's happened. So and it's happening.
Exactly.
And another thing that's scary, going back to that, is my vision board. I put stuff there, boom, boom, boom. I've had that vision board now for like 3-4 years, and I've been putting everything I put in there happens. And it just scares me. You know that example.
But it
I had?
shouldn't scare you.
No, it scares me in the power. So I'm very careful. I don't just post anything up there. I'm very careful what I put up there because I already know the power that I have on this thing.
Right.
And like I said, Ethan, I've showed him certain things, and he went, whoa, and he's got a vision board, and he's been using it.
Right. Be careful what you wish for.
Exactly, because you're gonna.
Right? And make sure that it's positive.
Exactly. So I have it there. I don't like people looking at it. Nobody sees it without my consent. And like I said, I'm very picky in what I'm gonna put there because I already know. I respect the power that it has. I don't care if you think I'm crazy, but I respect the power that it has.
No, I don't. And you know what? I think you should stop justifying, right? Because you're here to teach a lesson, and the things that are happening that you're talking about are coming true, and you hold true to your word. So there's no need for you to justify anything that you're doing, thinking, or feeling, because you know what? It is what it is, and you have,
So
and that's
people
your
are
right.
closed-minded, just wanna
And if somebody's
make 'em
questioning
understand.
it, it's because of their own insecurities, and it's called projection. They're projecting on you because
They don't see it.
they're unhappy inside themselves. They're feeling insecure about what their capabilities are, and so they're taking it out on you instead of taking the positive action and saying, what is Will doing to make those things happen? How can I learn from Will, or what can I take away from him in order to manifest in that way also? And maybe I'm a baby at manifesting, and I need some time to learn how to make it happen more effectively. But what can I learn from that if he's doing it, right? Because everybody has the ability to do it.
Exactly. And the perfect example that I'm going to touch base exactly is Ethan. All you need is that one time, like anything else. Once it happens one time, then you're like, oh, this is for real. And now you start focusing and your energy and it's shifting everything, and it start happening. Because with Ethan, I showed him whatever, and he saw it and he got his vision board. Try was another example too. He put on his vision board two specific things. And coincidentally, I went, and one day I was like, hey, I need a ride to go do this, and boom, we're at this location, and then he's like, oh, I finally did my vision board. Oh, all right, cool. I was on him to do it for a few months or weeks, whatever. And then he's like, you know what's crazy? I posted this, and look, we came here, and I'm looking at this. And I was like, what? And we got goosebumps, whatever, and then I got to his apartment, and he showed it to me, and I was like, well, I'm telling you, bro, you gotta believe it. It's out there. You just gotta tap into it. I'm not crazy. I'm telling you. So once they got a taste of it, now they believe it, and they're doing it. I don't know. I haven't followed up. That's something that's very personal, like I was saying to someone, but it's there. You just gotta believe.
Yeah. And have you ever heard the saying that whatever you pay attention to is where your energy goes and where your energy flows? So whatever we pay attention to, our thought, like in terms of our thoughts, our words, our deeds, our actions, whatever we are doing, it's sending that out to the universe, and we get more of that back. So once the manifestation happens, like you're saying, and you pay attention to the fact that, wow, that happened, I liked that, that was great, right? I'm excited about, I can do this now. More manifestations are coming true because that's where you put your energy. That's where you put your thoughts. And whatever you're putting your thoughts to is what comes back to you. So make sure the thoughts that you're putting out there are positive.
Exactly.
Good thoughts about yourself and about everybody else around you, so that all those good things come back
Karma.
to you. So, okay, so the Kenjaku, I kind of feel like this is talking about warriors, right? But don't you feel like that really in business, it's kind of like going to war? In a sense, right? You prepare for it, right? You go, kind of as a team, you have a strategy, right? And that's what it's saying here, they used many methods of stealth, guile, surprise, planning, physical strength to claim prizes from their opponents. not that we're using guile and that kind of stuff against, you know, our opponents in business, but in other words,
But our
we're prepping,
milestone-
planning, and we're thinking ahead about, okay, what are the possible outcomes that could come from this? What are the possible thoughts that that person might have? How do I prepare for that before I go into it, right? Like, I mean, sorry, that was just a thought that was coming up on this, and that's what you're doing. But by that proper planning, and that's also creating the victory, right? That's also creating that thing to happen. So, thought there. Okay. Drum, rhythm and internal timing. Kind of going back to what I was saying in these two cards. So again, they all play together, right? They're all in the same sandbox playing together. And so you need to make sure that you're paying attention to your rhythm and to the timing of things.
A perfect example that I want to give. This is how I in this whole awakening, whatever, where I'm exploiting everything, I'm starting to see the signs more clear, read it more.
Good.
For example, in this an incident that happened with Ethan, and then this is how I'm trying to make him understand and what I call the matrix and escape the matrix and see things when the universe is speaking to you, see if you're on the right path. That's why I feel I have such great success. Not to blow smoke off, but when you start a business, you're supposed to fail. I started willpower and immediately I didn't struggle getting business. I got business. I don't know. It's just how it goes. So, where was I going with this? I lost track.
Cut.
What was it that I was saying about? It was about reaching
The rhythm and the flow, and you started, and the flow automatically.
Oh,
happened.
how I read things. This is how I see the universe. We had an incident, you know, Ethan wanted to start the cold calling and get me a wholesaling, but I was like, no man, I'm on one track or there's no real money in that. What he was trying to do was starting like a little call center, kind of have a couple of like agents. I was like, that's not what the goal that we want. It's not this, right? We have this, we're going that way, and he's kind of sidetracked, but he's kind of like focused because he sees it that's his thing. He's like, oh, you're gonna teach me how to wholesale, whatever. I was like, bro, you're thinking that right now because he's seen this money right now, but I'm looking at a bigger picture.
Right. Small fish, big fish.
Exactly. So once he sees that, he's gonna forget about this. So I'm like, I'm not even over there because with time he's gonna see what's up and he's gonna let on his own. He's gonna let it go, right?
Right.
So then this is what happened. We did some magnets for the car for marketing. It says we buy shitty houses with the logo, whatever. So we had it on both sides. 3 times the magnet fell on my side only. In the highway.
Interesting.
In the highway, right? So on the highway, I'm always driving in the left lane, driving fast. We realized after a certain mile per hour, they did a stick over. Boom, the magnet will fly off. It happened 3 times. The 3rd time, I was like, bro, it's gonna keep on flying. I ain't gonna slow down.
Why keep putting it back on?
Yeah, I was like, I ain't gonna slow down. Leave it. Whatever, this and that. And then I don't know, like I said, the universe, something.
It wasn't important.
Exactly. No. Check it out. Something was telling you, like it was going back, like it kept on falling, and in my head that night or a couple of nights after it was going, and then I started putting the pieces together. Boom, 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 boom. Once I did, boom, I had one of my moments. I call on Ethan. Oh, let's go to the skyline. Let's go whatever. And I start talking to him. I'm like, hey, what do you think about those magnets falling off? And then he's like, oh yeah, we gotta get better quality magnets, you know, they suck, this and that. I was like, what do you really think about those magnets falling off? He's like,
right.
We should have gotten a better quote or something like that. I was like, no, that's how normal people would look at the situation. That the magnets were, what does the magnet mean falling off? And he's like, I don't know, but you're about to tell me. I was like, yeah, this is what I saw. This is what the universe is telling me. Boom, and I explained everything to you. I'm on my one-way mission. You're my co-pilot, whatever. You're trying to see, you saw it. It stayed on your side because you're focused on that wholesale, but on my side, it kept on falling. And notice every time
because you're moving already past it.
Yes, exactly.
You're already way ahead of it, so it's staying back there because that's where it belongs.
Exactly.
See, that's what I was thinking. Like, it's not serving you anymore, and it's telling you, you don't need these magnets. These magnets are not where you're supposed to go. You're supposed to be way ahead of the magnets.
So, and the 3 times, like every little detail, the speed that we're going, the highway, the numbers, all those things, those are the receptors that I feel that I have an overload and just freaking drives me crazy. I see all this, and I see all this craziness. I don't know, all this boom, boom. in my head, like I see everything that's going on right. And that's why I feel like I don't have failure, because I see all this and I know I'm in the right path. And when I don't see it, boom, I shift, and then I don't fail.
But you shift.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the important thing.
Yeah,
a lot of people do not shift.
Mm-hmm.
They, okay, like here, right? So you see it's not working, or it's not going that direction, or maybe I need to think a little bit further out, and you shift. You don't keep beating the dead horse, as they say, right? And keep doing the same thing over and over.
Exactly.
You're going to move.
Insanity.
Okay, maybe if I tried this, maybe that's going to get me a different result. And so that's another thing that is part of success, right?
That's how I feel like when I talk to the universe, when I want signs like that, boom, it talks to me like that. Like most people, the magnet, I was like, am I on the right path? Okay, this is my vision. Okay, and then boom, and then I look at it and I feel this energy, boom, 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 and then all those thoughts come. And I was like, oh, okay, the magnet, the magnet. Oh, I felt 3 times. Yeah, I was doing this fast, whatever. Boom, well, all 3 times, everything got it, whatever. Only my side, his side, da 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 da. And then boom, like the answers. I don't know. My brain, like I said, it's like a computer. It starts coming. I see it, boom, and I'm all right, we're on the right track. And it's been several times, like I said, I feel like Superman, like I can tap into it and I can ask certain things and it happens. Like I said, it's not like a superpower that's gonna happen overnight, like I need whatever, this, that. It's, you gotta know that it's real, it's tangible.
Right.
I don't say, $1 million or a Ferrari. I don't say stupid things like that. I say things that I know with what's going on and the energy and what it is that I'm capable. That's why I feel like it's a success, because it's realistic. It's not like I'm not exceeding the big whatever. It's the big picture, but I'm on my way there.
But it's awareness in the moment. So slow down for a second, because what you're saying is, right, it's the awareness. You're paying attention and you're giving attention to those shifts, the ebbs and the flows and the changes and what's working and what's not. And you're keeping your awareness high at all moments to receive the messages and to listen to your intuition, and you're taking action on
which is
your
very
thoughts
important.
and your
It's taking the action, which I
right.
preach all the
So
time.
you're aware. You're listening to it, and you're taking action, and you're shifting when the shift needs to happen, which is taking you down that path faster, right?
This is crazy, because it's all going back to the student, the teaching and all this, and my voice and viewpoint, what is it, the talking state. Because with Ethan, I'm teaching him all this, and he's seeing it because he's living here with me, whatever, seeing how all this is happening. And bro, he doesn't understand the blessing or the power he has, because he's 19, he's getting all this right now. Imagine if I would have realized this at that age.
Right? Can you imagine?
Bro, I'm telling this kid, he's like,
I know, he's amazing. He's a great student.
Yes.
He's learning quickly.
I consider
and he's
him
very mature for his age, for
very.
sure. And so he's picking up. But you also, I think the two of you are feeding each other, right? So it's that balancing where you're like kind of going back
we're
and
both learning,
forth,
but different aspects, I guess. He's learning, life, whatever, and he's teaching me about me.
Right.
There you go. He's learning about life, and he's teaching me about me, what I have, and to give,
exactly,
knowledge and all that.
And whatever we teach, we learn more deeply. Because we already know it, but as we teach others, we learn it more deeply ourselves.
Exactly, that's like the awakening. I mean, realizing.
Yep. So this other card is the Kokopelli, the fertility piece. It's a Toltec who came to Aslan. So, and that's Atlantis. But Aslan, the Atlanteans. I'm going off path here. All right. Aslan is in Mexico. All right. But the Atlanteans actually spread out after Atlantis, and people ended up in Mexico. We can go a lot deeper than that. Maybe we don't want to do that on camera today. But I have a lot more information about that. But
I'm not Mexican.
Huh?
I'm not Mexican.
No, I know you're not Mexican. Okay. No, but I have a lot more on it, the Atlantean culture and what happened.
Okay.
So
the only relation that I will see with that is I'm very water. I'm not a water sign, but like I love the ocean. I did every water sports, you know.
Me
boating,
too.
everything, so I'm
Good.
not afraid of water.
Take me kayaking, diving, swimming, or snorkeling. I would love to learn scuba. Okay, let's go. Boating. I'm there. But anyway, Aswan is Mexico City, right? That's where they landed. They brought all that knowledge. So Toltecs were before them, and that was Lemurian culture. But then the Aztecs or whatever, but not the Aztecs, but the people that built Aswan were another higher culture. That's why nobody can explain why all the things are there, but nobody can rebuild them now. They can't. We don't have the technology to build those things that are there because it's coming from an ancient culture that was much more advanced than we are now. Anyway, that's totally off topic of what we were talking about, although maybe not. Maybe there's some message. Maybe there's something in the Atlantean culture we need to explore. But
I'm intrigued now.
or what happened in Mexico and all around the world when some of these cultures came down.
History repeats itself.
Yes, it does. And
That's another
I
thing.
also had a download about that, saying that we are at a time where there's a great shift, and we're going to take like this enormous cosmic shift in our consciousness that's taking us from where we are today, where we're very much about physical things and whatever. But as you were talking about how all these downloads are coming, kind of getting superpowers per se, all of us are capable of having everything. Telepathy, clairsentience, clair-knowing, clairsentience is feeling, clairaudio, like auditory, which is where you kind of hear something.
Is that what they do, like acupuncture?
No, that's totally different.
Oh, okay.
What I'm talking about is when you're using sixth senses, right? There's additional senses. We all have them, but we aren't always tapped into how to use them. We don't realize that we have them, or we might reject them. But those things are going to automatically start happening where everybody is going to be able to tap into them at a greater level, including some crazy things that I'll tell you about, like where we're going to be able to teleport ourselves, and we're going to be able to telepathically communicate not only with humans but with every being, including plants. And that's what that whole movie, The Avatar, is all about, because that's really what's coming. So in terms of having that connectedness, that's coming quickly. So our way of looking at life is going to be shifting very soon. This is talking about the inhabitants of Aswan were peaceful Pueblo nations. They were farmers and cliff dwellers. So like in Arizona, for instance, the Pueblo cultures where, again, they built themselves into the rocks in the desert, and they had roads that reached over 500 miles. And they connected all the little pueblos together, and they had this great network. They actually learned how to capture water, because there's not much water there, but how to capture water, and then how to farm.
Like rainwater?
And rainwater and underground water and stuff like that. So, but anyway, they taught a lot of other cultures too how to do those skills or techniques. So all stories agree on one thing. He played the Indian flute. His music was said to bring fertility to the land and to the people. His trade routes from southern Mexico to the southern regions of Colorado are marked with petroglyphs of humpbacked flute player. His life is colorfully told around many accounts of fire, and his praises sung in many akiva. Those things are called akiva. Well, the kivas are like where they go to have meetings and stuff, and prayer. The Kachina dolls that represent Kokopelli show his body with an enormous, marking the maleness and fertility, and it said that his seed was sacred and that his line bore children with special talents. Any woman chosen by Kokopelli as a consort was honored among her people, for she would bear a child from the race of the gods.
What does that mean?
So, and Joaquin, the medicine teacher from Mexico, was a part of the Aztec and had many tales of Toltec Kokopelli. And he played with a Mayan black clay flute. So, teachings from the gods, teachings from elsewhere, starseed. Looks like teachings from somewhere else are coming through you.
Oh boy.
Yep. Divine and otherworldly teachings might be coming through you to help people who are ready to listen. Not everybody will be ready to listen. Not everybody can accept what you might be teaching. But that doesn't matter, because all that matters is that you put your voice out there so that whoever is needing, wanting that you're putting out will
with the message.
Correct. Will
Yes, we're gonna tell Ethan with anything. The proof is in the pudding. All you need is that one, and Ethan's that one. Once you see that success story right there, then the proof is in the pudding. Hey, I want that too.
Exactly. So let me take these. So it was talking about rhythm and flow, and you're getting a lot of stuff. And did you know that the 6th, yes, 5th and 6th was the full moon, and this full moon is very auspicious, and it connects us to emotions, but it connects us to a lot of change, kind of leapfrogging us to that next big journey, and it's all also about ascension and awareness. So that may be why, like, sometimes people feel it a week before and a week after, and that may be something that you're pulling through right now.
Well, moments for the done will touch you, because a lot of like weird, not weird is, I don't know if it's positive, it's negative, I don't know, it's neutral. I'm just trying to understand. Like I said,
no judgment. Just don't use judgment.
Exactly. I just see it, and I'm waiting for the pieces to fall in. I'm not jumping onto the situations. I'm alright. That's why I'm like different now. I'm sitting back and I'm just watching everything come together.
Right.
And then picking the pieces of these different situations that we'll touch base after. I just don't want to fog up your...
Right. No, but what I'm saying is that your ascension, spiritual ascension, and awareness is doing a leapfrog, a jump, a massive shift right now. That's what more is coming in, which is why you need that silence, because you're pulling in so much right now that it could be overwhelming, but you need to grab that so that you can teach it.
Exactly.
And utilize it. So it's for you, but also for others.
Yeah.
Then we go to the second tarot, some other things that are going on with Bull. And then I want to do this. This is life purpose. So I'm in connection to like everything. I want to see what it confirms. I want to see what this is life purpose cards. I want to see what this is confirming. Here, what it tells you. So we're going to pull a few from here. So,
another thing too, the way that I read signs, and I was telling Ethan, is, and the reason why I tell him everything so he can see it and I can get confirmation that I'm not crazy, and he sees it. Is, let's say I'm thinking of something, and this is how I see the signs, because a lot of people are like, I don't know, I saw a car and it reminded me of my ex or whatever, or something of that nature, whatever. To me, this is how I see the signs. Let's say somebody might just see that and whatever, coincidence, but to me, the universe talks to me more direct. Like I'll see a car, and then I'll look, I think we had this conversation, I'll look somewhere and I'll see a number, then I go and I'll turn the station on, and then it's a lot of different connections, that make sense, that answer my question. That's how I see it. So
Synchronicities.
exactly. So I see that when I see one number, it's not like, oh, I'm driving. That is coincidence. It's the universe. When the universe wants you to know the message, it puts it out there, and you just gotta have the receptors to see it. And I have that, so I see it. So when I see boom, 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 it happens. When the universe, like I said, when I'm thinking of something and I see something, I see that as coincidence. I know when the universe is talking to me because, like I said, it talks to me, boom, 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 it just boom, boom. It's like an over, blah, 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 blah. All right, I get it. Okay, that's how it is. It's not like, oh yeah, and that's it. No, there's nothing. It's not that energy. It's just that's coincidence. I can
You've
distinguish
learned
the
to
difference.
know when there's a difference between a synchronicity and a coincidence. But a lot of people have the coincidences, the synchronicities, but they're not. They go, oh well, that doesn't really mean anything, right? They brush it off instead of thinking a little bit more deeply. What does that mean, right? Taking that minute to think. Maybe that means something. What does that mean? What's it trying to tell me? Because I feel that it's telling me something. There's a little bell going off somewhere in my head, but I'm not listening, right?
Exactly. They'll write it off as coincident, and I'm telling you, it's not coincident.
And they keep going
on. You see it.
Right. But they're missing so many things that could be taking them forward so much faster.
So, and
maybe
and the proof is it's not. I don't consider it, like I said, coincidence because it's not just one thing. It's a series of different events and of things happening. And I'm asking a question, or there's some doubt or whatever it is, and that's when it's not just like I'm driving and then whoop, oh, that's coincidence. It's just a mixture of a bunch of things that does it. And I listen, I do, and I said, like, I don't fail, whatever, so I know I'm onto something. I am not crazy. I'm onto something.
You're onto something.
Exactly, because if I saw it and if I see it and it doesn't happen, then I'm like, oh, this bullshit, whatever. I'm being crazy. I'm like focusing too much on this. But no, it's all positive. It all happens. It keeps on happening and it keeps on guiding me. So I don't know what it is. And like I said, I'm just trying to receive it.
Trust
the process.
Trust what you're feeling and thinking. You're trusting in that, right? And you are divinely protected. That's why these good things are also coming to you. So
and then that other protector looks like an angel.
Exactly.
Right here, what it says, it looks like an angel, and it's what I was telling you. You know, the close people that raised me, that influenced parental, whatever, they're all passed away. They all moved on to the next. And every time there's somebody, I had visions, I had contact with these people, and I got this energy, again, going to like power, but I felt like what I lacked from them as a parental, I got. I don't want to get into the details of the example, but it was my grandmother, my aunt and uncle, that were my parents, and my birth parents, my father. Every time, my father obviously was the first one, and then my grandmother was the next one. When that happened, when my grandmother wasn't as strong, the ones that were really the strongest one, which were the ones I guess that I had the most crash with, which is, now that I think about it, coincidentally, it's in order of, I don't know if love is the right word, but it's in order because it was my dad who was unconditional, number one, there's nothing there. And then it was my grandmother who was very strict, but I had a love-hate with her, which I learned to have with her.
She was strict because she loved you.
Exactly. And she was the one that taught me the manners, and that's what I'm saying. It was a love and hate with her when I was young, but now that when I got old and mature, I learned to love her because she made me the man I am, of how to sit on the table, how to act, how to read people, interacting with wealthy people. She taught me all of that, and everybody was like that. She was, I don't know, but exactly. So when she passed away, I got like this energy, whatever, but I didn't know about it. So then I believe it was my aunt that died first, and that was crazy, and I reached out to my brother, but I don't know, they didn't reach out to me, but I kind of made peace, and then I got this weird energy, and then that's when something with that other person, whatever, then my mother died, and then that, and it's just all crazy, the energy, and now this, I always knew, I was like, bro, I don't know what it is, but I know that I have those angels over there, because every time that some of this, I felt like I got that energy of whatever, whether it was lack of love, attention, whatever, I got that. Like, I don't know how to explain, but I got weird energy. I use lack of love as an example. I don't want to get into details, but I got what I was missing from them. Not 100 because I'm not complete, but I got light.
But you were missing it because it was a lesson that you had to learn on your own.
instead of being given that. Because if you had been given it, if you hadn't learned the lesson, it wouldn't have resonated so deeply for you and profoundly for you to be able to be where you are now. It forced you to do it.
Exactly.
And
it's
you
all
have
perspective.
to trust that you're always protected, and you are, but the reason you're protected is because of your spiritual path that you're supposed to go on. And this is what I'm dying to tell you, okay? Your cards are
Counseling. Speaker. I talk a lot.
I mean, I was looking at him as I'm like, the cards are coming out. Teaching.
Holy shit. And study. Research. Wow.
And travel.
Nice. Well, travel is go and do the teaching, which is something cool because one of Ethan's things that he wants to do, like his dream with this whole entrepreneur, is that he wants to be able to work remotely and travel and work
right,
on a laptop.
You could do this anywhere.
So that's one of the things I tell him. If we can learn this and teach it, we can go anywhere and teach it.
Anywhere. Yeah, I agree.
So that makes sense.
It gives you freedom, a lot of freedom, and it means that you're not restrained. So this is what I thought was going to happen. That totally confirmed everything that we just talked about, right?
No, totally.
Counseling,
Every time I feel it, like,
teaching, and studying.
Everything makes sense.
Trust, and protected, and travel. Right?
And this just reinforces what's going on in my universe and what's going on. It's like I'm on the right path.
Right. This is the second tarot deck. Hope.
Always hope, man. That's what keeps it.
Yeah.
Keeps us alive. It's
Power.
the fuel.
This one fell out earlier, and
Power. What power?
Shadow.
Yeah, I was looking at that card right now, and I was like,
Okay,
shadow.
this is the shadow side, right? What are the things that we're hiding, blocking, pushing down? The negative side of us, the little voice in our head sometimes, right? Or all the time, right?
The only negative voice I would say that I have
right?
would be like sometimes you doubt yourself. You're like, oh, you're doing it right. Well, BryN, thank you very much. Always a pleasure. Reinforcing what the universe is trying to tell me with your expertise. So if anybody's got the power here, it's you.
No. I'm not the power, it's divine. It's speaking through me, and I'm just a channel here to channel, for you based upon what you need at this time. And so it's always a pleasure reading for you. Really fun. This is so interesting, and it's really getting deep right now. But you can see that the message is reach for the stars.
My party friends.
Your party friends. It's Friday.
Yeah.
It's Friday night. And I ain't got nobody.
Actually, and I asked D right now when we were talking upstairs. We wanted to go out, but he's like, no, I'm staying today, whatever. I'm like, we'll have some good, because we had an interesting conversation about real estate.
He's cool.
Yeah,
and
mentoring.
Del is
and
really cool and interesting too. Yeah.
This is the best tip I can give you when you're saying words. If you mess up, don't be like, oh, do it again. Just keep on, but pause in between, because I can edit it, cut it, and make it look like, like if you just said everything cut off, all like, whatever. But just keep on. But just don't talk really fast, because then then it'll look like it got cut.
Right.
But if you pause in between sentences, and then boom, 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 so if you mess up, that's it. And it must be like if you're talking to another person, because a lot of people get nervous and you just pretend like you're just talking to me or another person. And that's how you use the camera. Let's do a product placement.
Okay.
It's gonna be edited.
Swimming along.
This is me for the behind the scenes.